record. So we're recording now, finally. What is going well for you guys? Like anything you guys want to share? This is going really well. It's January, man. People are getting healthy. People are having like things go off in their head. What's going well?
Hey, Brad, I'll share.
Go for it, Don.
Yay! Well, first of all, there's so many things going well. I'm loving just the energy out there, the energy in our client support groups. Brad, I just have to say, it has been so fun. This is week 2 of the challenge. And as I've been pulling in posts from the Healthy to the Core group into our Supporting Your Health 247 and watching people post their celebrations and what they're working on, and last week with healthy fueling and this week getting ready for healthy motion. I mean, the energy in our client support groups been great, but it's like great times 10 now. So that has been so fun doing that. And then, so that's one of the things that's going really well. Loving how the challenge is really like infusing our client support pages with just this vibrancy, this excitement. And we're seeing just rock stars come from that. Like, I mean, clients that are chiming in and it's like, whoa, who's this girl? She's like coaching people and cheering them on. And so it's really neat because we're using that in our group to really highlight some of the clients and maybe invite them to some 3-way calls. Like, you're killing Let's see here. Hey, Brad.
Yeah, am I back?
You're back. That's awesome. All right.
Comcast showing up exactly. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Robotic.
You're good.
Does it sound okay?
It's a little better.
It's a little better, or Comcast just showed up, so I just switched. They must have turned off my internet.
That's better.
Better now?
It's better now.
Okay. All right. Just wave at me if it's not going good. Comcast just showed up, and I think they just turned off my internet because there was a bad connection in another room, so they must have shut it off for my whole house. So I'm running for my hotspot now, so onward and upward. So I didn't hear where you left off. So, like, just good stuff?
Yeah, just good stuff, Brad. Loving how the challenge is pulling people into that our client support pages and just really like creating some awesome energy. And from that, we're pulling out some awesome 3-way calls and getting to meet some of the clients that are rocking it. And we've had some health coaches come on, and it's really inspiring to see people create that energy themselves.
Perfect. I want to jump into the topic, but let's hear one more real quick. Who's got some other things that are just going really well they want to share? Go for it, Amber.
Sure. We have some exciting stuff too in our client group as well. Dawn has really been a lot more interactive as many people are joining and seeing more about what we're about. But just a few things that we're focusing on this week is we have several newer coaches and newer business coaches. And so our focus this week in some legs of our business is trilogy calls. It's just such a powerful way for us to teach those new coaches how to invite, how to reach out to people, but then also the follow-up process and then moving that to the phone for the 3-way calls. And so I think we have 3
Yeah.
I can go.
Oh,
is it back?
I'm back.
He'll jump in when
why don't you go, Denise? We're just having fun with dinner this morning.
What's going really well, and I was thinking about this morning, it's just incredible how being on purpose, everything that Frank and I do is on purpose. We work hard, but we play hard. And when we play, we think, who can we touch? And this just gives me chills because Frank and I are musicians, and we have a Chicago tribute band. Last Saturday night, we had two extra tickets to this incredible concert we were doing. But we thought, who could we reach out and touch? Who could we bless with these? And hopefully reach out and help potentially change their health as well. So everything that we're doing, we're thinking about who can we touch? Because to us, it's very, it's important. We are saving lives, changing lives. But we want to be on purpose all the time. We have a lot of fun with it because we love our health. We can't, help but share it. So we're planting those seeds. We're dripping on people each day. Who can I touch today? And it may not be that I just call and talk to them, about this amazing program, but I just call and say, hey, how's life going? Just really being that genuine person and saying, how are your kids doing? Whatever it is. And then following back up with them in a week or a month or, just not forgetting them and just having that consistency with being on purpose. And when we go and visit somebody or we get to go on a great road trip, who's along the way that we could touch or meet for a cup of coffee, which Frank and I love integrating health and, all the fun coffee shops. But all those things help us reach out and touch other people and let them see that we're enjoying a healthy, active life. And then, people say, I want what you have. What is it that you're doing? So anyway, I hope that helps a little.
Yeah, no, I love it, Denise. Always on purpose, and it just feels better to live life at full speed like Dave Blanchard talks about. So I'm assuming everyone can still hear me okay? Like, am I good? All right, wish me luck. We're operating off a hotspot. There's always a way to make it work. So I had a few things to share today, and we've had a lot of fun on a lot of different topics. I thought this would be a really good week to get some actual education points on how we can best serve our clients this week. So you guys won, like you guys have heard, we've really done really well in the challenge.
No problem.
Really great. And we are all over the stuff this morning. All right, there we go. We're just getting it all out of the way for this week right now. There will be no more technical difficulties for anyone else. I'm just taking it all on for you guys this week. But the challenge has been awesome. Just seeing everyone's takeaways, that they're getting it, they're thinking about it, and they're learning from each other. It's been a really strong community. So I just want to congratulate everyone there. This week, just another idea, because we've kind of talked about the idea of also on top of layering, dripping on three-way phone calls and plugging in your clients, just having a topic of health. This week's topic of health in the Healthy Core is healthy motion. So if you're making like a video that you want to send to your clients this week, or you're just looking for a topic to explore, here, if you don't have one already that's on your heart that you want to share, healthy motion and how to incorporate it in. We had some great takeaways from Casey last night, along with Amber and Susan. So if you have energy on that, just have that be a topic this week. Because that's one tip Susan gave us a few weeks ago, was just having a topic each week that we kind of have be our bullet point that we're just going to connect with everyone on. So as we go in today, I'm going to ask you guys, what's your plan? And this isn't business related. This is nutrition plan related. So a lot of people have asked me a lot recently, how would you help this person? How would you help this person? What should I do with this person? And one, that's great. We always want to be tapping into our support. We are all helping each other. We have team coaching. But you guys, we have this thing here. It lays out our program. In the beginning, most of us want to optimize our health and get to a healthy weight. So we're going to focus on losing weight, and it's going to be probably a 5-1 or one of our weight loss programs. By the way, in here, just because it's been a common misconception, I'm glad we're addressing it this week. Activity is part of our 5-1 program, guys. I'll go over it a little bit later, but it says right here in there, you want to start activity, or it's going to be continue activity if that's where you're at. You focus on getting to a healthy weight, or you want to be at, and sometimes the journey looks up and down like this. It's not perfect. So if you're looking for a textbook client, you're probably never going to have one. And then you're going to help them optimize and get to the next level of their health, ramping up their activity, getting into healthy motion, realizing how to bring up their caloric intake to match their goal, focusing on fueling 5 times a day, and then longevity long-term. Sorry, we still have a few people that are unmuted. All right, I was going to mute all real quick, because there's 7 people unmuted. All right, I think we're good now. So that's just a good review of how it's not going to be perfect and taking a step back. So supporting supporting people on our plans. Our program is not 5-1. It's not MetaFast. It's not any of those things. So here's another tip too: was you check your clients. This is just a random one I was going to throw in here. Check your clients when you're talking with them each week. This is a great question to ask. Who's noticing? And if you get to explore a little bit further, if they find out what they're telling people, what it is, because most people will think it's MetaFast, and we're part of our coaching is helping figure out that they're on an optimal health plan. And our plan is all about learning to move towards optimal health, getting better every day, and fueling ourselves 6 times a day. That's our program, not 5-1, even though that may be like the biggest entry point for most people on our program. Probably 95% of the time people are going to start on our 5-1 program. It's just the best fit for most people. I mean, hey, if you want to get it done, it's simple, it's easy, it works. That's why what we do does work so well. So, but these are some of our plans. We have a 5-1 plan. We have a 4-2 plan, or a 4-2-1 plan. We have a 3-3 plan for weight loss if you're focusing on bringing your caloric intake down. We have nursing mothers, seniors plan, teen programs, gout. It just continues to go on and on. These are all programs that we can assist people with to gain a hold of their health, start moving forward in their health, fueling 6 times a day and moving forward. Again, you're most likely going to 95% of the time hit someone with a 5-1 plan is what's needed for them. Again, another misconception that I'll get to here soon is people think, oh, I'm on 5-1, I can't exercise, or I need to change up my plan or modify it because I'm exercising. Probably not. I'll go over that here in a little bit. But there will be different times where maybe, you know what, you just take it, you know, if like the holidays come up. A lot of people say, oh, my clients went off program for the holidays. Part of our education is coming alongside them and being like, no, we eat for a goal. So let's just change up what your plan is. If you need more leniency, or right now is not the time to focus on this, let's scale it back a little bit. We have 3-3s, 4-2s, 5-1s. We want to help people start thinking about fueling for goals, not dieting and trying to cut weight or being on or off. So this might be some good topics for you guys to just kind of reinvigorate the brain, because a lot of people have been asked about that, because a lot of people kind of coach, and guilty. We used to do this back in the day. Literally, guys, you wouldn't believe this. Back in the day when we first started, we were like, oh, if you can't do 5-1, grab that food, put it on the shelf when you're ready. Like, I can't believe we literally said that to people. Like, our coaching has come so far. But those are the different ways we help people have a structure on their meal plan to stay plugged in, to keep moving forward on their health daily. Because you either plan to fail to prepare, or you prepare to fail. That's basically why we help people have our plans that put them in place and put them in a structure to move forward, getting the nutrition, moving forward in their health, basically moving their body composition forward. And then we have a transition, and then we have plans afterwards for optimizing our health. So I wanted to cover a little bit of that today, because a lot of people will generally get caught up in the transition phase. So this is just a really good review of everything. So guys, the quick start guide, again, we are the guides to our program. So this is what we want to make sure people are opening up on their first few days of plan as they're getting the routine down. You know, talk with them the night before, connect with them that first few days. The first goal of anyone being on plan is getting into a strong fat burn. And that's the changing point, because a lot of people, if you guys probably don't realize, they're like, oh, fat burning, that's like that gimmick thing they use. They don't understand it's an actual state of the body that they're achieving by the way they're fueling themselves nutritionally. So this is the quick start guide. This is pages 2, 3, 4, and 5. So these are the ones you're going to guide people to. It's going to go over their lean and green and their day on plan and how to fuel themselves. It's going to go over their lean and green meal, their lean options, and their green options, and how to break it down. So you want to make sure that they're referencing this and that you're guiding back to this so they get it. So they know where there's optional snacks. They know how to go to the lean category and realize, okay, I get 3 condiments a day, and I also need healthy fats in my meals. This is not your job to make sure that you're reverberating everything here. Our plan is so simple that these are the places literally to remind people to guide back to. So I know, Dawn, actually, you kind of helped me start it out with a comment. You've been coaching for a long time, and you're really good at coaching people back to the system. Did you have any energy on this that you want to give to it?
Well, you know what I love is it's amazing. So it's the first of the year, right? And lots of people are maybe coming back. Maybe they had been on their journeys, and maybe they went wandering a little over the holidays, or maybe I helped them several years ago and they've been maintaining, but they're ready to take their health to the next level. So having that conversation with them, really dialing in what their goals are, what they want to create, that health that they're looking for long term. And oftentimes they're going to get started back on the 5-1 plan, get back into that healthy fat burn, get, kind of reset, get back into the healthy habits. And that's really where this is the foundation of those healthy habits, right? It's eating 6 times a day, fueling our bodies with the right things, drinking lots of water, getting sleep. So what I'm loving is I'm getting to pull them back into these materials and sending our welcome email again. I think in the last 2 days, I've sent the welcome email 5 times, and they're all people who've gotten it before. They're starting their journey, and it's not like a restart, like they have failed. It is, they're coming back in and they're simply starting where they left off, or they're taking it to a new level. So we're getting to have conversations where they've seen the material, but we're we're kind of going back through it again, just like it was the first time with them, and they're catching things and their minds are ready. And it's so really guiding them to this and giving them the tools.
Yeah. It's a good refresher for all of us. Like I've been coaching a few clients that have come back too, and it's like, oh, I need to remind them to go back to these places. And that for us coaches, if you're new or you're experienced, this is just the basics of what we coach. This is all right here. It's very simple. Part of the flow of getting people in the fat burn is also realizing that they're changing up the way they're actually eating for the first time. Most people aren't used to eating 6 times a day. So guide them back to this structure. And again, for you newer coaches, or just a reminder for everyone, because I'm constantly reminding myself, is it's not your job to know everything. The more you know, the better. But literally, our program is simple. The layout is there, and these are our options for getting people out. Don, great reminder. And I know you pretty much coined the phrase, because I think I had learned to be duplicatable when the first time you were a client, and you kept asking me stuff, and I would be like, well, let's grab your quick start guide. And where is it at in there? Because we want to teach people, pass on skills, not feel like we have to have the answers for everything. There's multiple reasons for that, but that's just one right there. We want to help people understand what they need to do. So I might have you come back on a few more of these topics here. But here's another one I wanted to cover. This is page 10 of the quick start guide. So again, I was covering healthy motion there before. This is also the thing here. It literally says in the quick start guide, for a quick refresh, is that if you are not currently exercising, so if you're not doing activity, we're going to ask that they wait 2 to 3 weeks before they start getting active. And as a healthy approach, we want them to ease in slowly. It says it right there at the top. This is if they're not exercising. If you are currently exercising, they recommend cutting it in half for the first 3 weeks only, time and intensity, and then they can build back up to it, again, easing back into it. One of the skills that we're doing here, besides helping people fuel properly, get healthy, learn things, is helping them learn how to pay attention to their body. This is another thing. This is probably one of the first things I learned. Oh my gosh, like I'm actually feeling what my body's telling me. And that was a really big thing along the way. So again, you know what? You just cut it in half by time and intensity. So a great way to remember this is if half of 0 is still 0 and half of anything else is just half of what it is. So just remind people that, and just whatever it is, have them scale back cardio. Cardio is the thing that can really throw a lot of people off, because you're already eating to basically cut fat. If they overextend themselves, what the body will do if they really go for like long runs is the body will lock down if it's too low of calories to run on. So these are just some general tips on exercise, but everything there you can refer them back to in the quick start guide. So Casey had a great coverage of a lot of topics on this last night on the Health Huddle. So if you need more information or want to have people get some information on this, grab that Health Huddle as a topic to plug people into. So Healthy Motion is part of our program and part of our healthy lifestyle. Guys, because I went over all the different programs that we have, if you guys aren't aware, at your website on the tools and support section, there is guides for everything, whether it's bariatric, there's dining out guides, there's nursing mothers guide, there's teens guides, everything you need there that I was covering with those programs are on your website, as well as nutritional information right below it down there. They have like allergy and diet information, the full condiment recommendations, breaking it down fully by list. So these are just resources, again, to plug people into and realize that are options there. And then lastly, this is basically, I want to set this up because this is the main point I wanted to get to as kind of as we wrap up today, is transition. And a lot of people have a fun time with this, and some people don't really get it, because by the time they get there, they're realizing that health is a journey, not a perfect deal. And a lot of people get caught up on the perfection. So not only may you get caught up on it, but definitely a lot of your clients do. They're coming from anywhere, if they don't understand it, they don't know what to do, they're just going to go back to old habits, or they're thinking they still didn't get out of the diet mentality, even though they started saying the right things, and they're starting to realize they're going to go back to exactly what they were starting to do. Or you have people that are literally so scared that this is the first thing that's ever worked for them, they're afraid to bring back in. You ever had the conversation with someone who's like, I'm so scared of carbs because I heard that they were bad, but now we're helping them reorientate to that. So this is the official transition guide in the quick start guide. It just covers the 6-week process of upping your calorie intake just a little bit at a time and adding in a new section of food groups each week. So we're basically bringing in more food, trading it out for a meal replacement, bringing up the calorie intake, landing people, because a lot of people have had this question too. What do they do after transition? Well, transition lands you at a 3 and 3. So you just follow that all the way through. So I'm going to go over that in a quick second as well. But a lot of people also get caught up, well, oh, my client doesn't really want to do fruit, or my client doesn't want to do dairy. Well, you know what? it's okay. It's just what they were doing this week. Have them just continue on the path. If they don't want to bring dairy into their routine going forward, they're still focused on fueling 6 times a day. We're going to follow a 3 and 3 path. So you can follow this to the T if you want. But what I actually find myself doing more often than not with clients is by the time they get there, they haven't been perfect on plan the entire time, because it's not about being perfect. It's about fueling ourselves and moving towards an optimal lifestyle that we're learning. So most people, I'd say, actually, from my end, and Dawn, you can feel free to comment on this as well, don't actually do a full transition. And this is okay, mind you. Again, I like the saying, eat the fish, spit out the bones. All the core pieces are there of what they need. They're focusing on fueling themselves. They're eating for a goal. They're bringing in healthy motion. They're realizing that health is a journey and they're staying plugged in. So a great way to go about this is a 4 and 2 plan or a 3 and 3 plan. Like for instance, we were helping someone transition this week with a coach. We were doing a call, and actually, we didn't do a call. We were talking about it before they did the call. And they were like, well, the person doesn't want to do a 3 and 3. They think it's too much food. Well, okay, well, great. Let's do a 4 and 2 plan, because if that's what they can understand, they really need the help and the structure, then don't make them eat more than they can. They can move to a 3 and 3 later. The focus is fueling 6 times a day. On my worst crazy days, I'll actually probably end up doing a 4 and 2 myself. But, I'll probably have some different options in there, for like my meal. So what I wanted to basically spend some time on this is you can do a 4 and 2 plan that's basically looked at 2 ways, and a 3 and 3 plan that's going to be 2 ways. So you're going to have like a 4 and 2 plan. You're going to have 4 optimal health or MetaFast meals. You can have either or. I still mix up mine. I love the optimal health meals. I love the MetaFast meals. One is a little bit lower calories, less protein, more nutrients. One's a little bit more calories, more protein, a little less nutrients. So either way, I'm still fueling every 2 to 3 hours on this. And then if someone is, it's totally fine to stick with a lean and green layout. But as they move into their next level of health, really what they're doing, because Dr. Ray talks about it in chapters 7, 8, and 9, is a 9-inch plate. So their plate is going to look very similar to a lean and green, except now it's going to be 50% vegetables or fruit. Most likely, I recommend vegetables, but there's going to be a good mixture in there. 25% of their plate, their 9-inch plate, is going to be a lean protein, and we know what that looks like, and we know how to incorporate healthy fats. And the other 25% is going to be a healthy starch, not a carb, mind you. They will be carbs, but they are a healthy starch. It's way different than carbs. They're very different setup there. Like if you want to see some cool things, look at Nicole Asmendito's page. She's been doing really great learning this year. I just got to give her some props on that. So you can do that with a 4 and 2 plan, or apply the same thing with the 3 and 3. It's the same deal, and we want to help people get into that routine. We want to teach them that the B-Slim is their best friend, because I personally am not healthy because I have great willpower. I'm healthy because I keep junk out of my house and I have healthy meals in my cupboard all the time coming to me on the first of the month. So these are just ways to move people forward on this, and I wanted to go over that. There's one thing else I wanted to cover. Oh, okay, pause, go back 1 second. I did miss the thing with exercise I wanted to cover. Was the only thing that will possibly change with exercise, the quick recommendation. And Casey, if you want to add anything on a generic note on this, I would really welcome it. But just squash the meals closer together. My quick generic deal on helping people work out is you might end up having an extra meal by the end of the day, but really you want to time your workout so that, or whatever exercise or activity you're doing, so that you're eating not too long before, ideally about 30 minutes, 15 minutes, so you have juice in the tank. And then right after you're done, squash your next meal up a little bit sooner, because you just expended a lot more calories. You just are basically keeping it all even on the whole day. So basically have them squash it afterwards. If it's an hour and a half, 2 hours, then they're good to go, but they're fueling themselves. They got gas right back in the tank and feeding their body after they got some healthy motion in. If it translates into an extra meal by the end of the day, par for the course. Casey, do you have any energy, or do you have the ability to give any energy on that real quick? You just sit up on your books real quick.
Yeah. No, Brad, you're right. You're right on. I mean, timing those meals and making sure that you get some recovery fuel right after your workout is going to be critical. In some cases, that would be where you'd want to do a higher percentage of your carbohydrates. If you've added carbohydrates back in, it would be immediately post-workout. If you work out early in the morning, like say the first thing that you do is work out in the morning, then that other carbohydrate meal could be your last meal of the night. Because actually your liver will store that glycogen and it'll be used in your morning workout. So one of the mistakes that I'm seeing a lot of people do is they try to fuel with a higher carbohydrate first thing in the morning. And then by the time the workout is done, they've crashed very hard and there's literally no energy at that point for the rest of the day, and they're always trying to recover from that particular workout. So those would be the top two things. The other thing that I was just typing out is there's a reason why the Quick Start Guide recommends pickles and bouillon, and the reason is because of the sodium. And if your clients are experiencing dizziness or lightheadedness, one of the things you can do is you can recommend the up to 2 grams of sodium coming from a bouillon about a half an hour to 60 minutes before your workout, and about 16 ounces of water about a half an hour before the workout. And what that will actually do is it'll raise blood volume, it'll raise blood pressure safely to a point where they can work out and not have the symptoms of the lightheadedness.
I love it. Casey, do you find that I've recommended Powerade Zero for a lot of my clients? Is that about the same thing? Would that take care of it, getting the sodium and electrolytes back in the body?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're going to have a certain level of sodium in there. Yeah, so that could be a good choice as well. Just take a look at the sodium, up to 1 gram for smaller people and probably 2 grams for larger people. And the other way of looking at that too is that we're asking people to drink a ton of water. And with the exercise and the body temperature that's raised from exercise, you need to make sure you're getting above and beyond. But what that also does is that creates a sodium imbalance. So it's even more critical to make sure that if you're exercising and you're not on high blood pressure medication or anything like that, it's good to use Celtic sea salt or Himalayan pink salt for your lean and green meals. It will definitely help with all of those symptoms of the sodium imbalances.
Awesome. Thank you, Casey. I love it because our program is seriously so dialed in that like you can take your massive knowledge and apply it right to here. It's all a catch-all, and you're not meant to know all this stuff. These are just some general tips, and you always have a lifeline to your support team. So if you have someone exercising for the first time and you have questions, at least you know a little bit of verbiage on the topic. You can just connect right back with your support team. But again, basically, it's just about fueling yourself, keeping everything laid out. Casey was talking about TEE last night, and basically making sure it's all laid out very nice and clean. And if people follow the way the plan's laid out or the way we're fueling ourselves, everything will create a really good balance. People will move forward. They're getting the nutrition they need. So just a really good cover. I wanted to cover this because, guys, we're missing so many people all the time. Like, do you realize how many people, like, yes, 5 and 1 is going to be our main entry point, but do you know how many people need a 4 and 2 or a 3 and 3 plan? We're running low on time, and maybe I'll pull Casey onto this later. But as for a generic point, Ashley and I have followed like really dialed in meal plans. Ashley did a show and I basically just followed suit with her. What we do is like our 3 and 3 plan, following a 9-inch plate and teaching people to fuel 6 times a day, is essentially very similar to what you can get for paying like high-end dollars for a nutrition plan. It takes care of what everything needs. So just bring people towards optimal health, moving forward in their health, plugging in. The goal is to fuel 6 times a day. And if you're doing that, you're par for the course. Everything else you do will be figuring out what's best for them. You can rely on a 4 and 2 or a 3 and 3 plan on that. So that's basically what I wanted to cover today. Just some other heads up. Call this week. We have Dawn and Ashley and some of our other resident moms are going to share some stories of health tomorrow night. So if you guys have people that are on, like we covered with the different plans that we covered. Nursing Mothers, by the way, is just a easy 6 time a day fueling 1,500 or 1,800 plan that's going to help moms lose weight, get nutrition in their body, keep milk supply up. Again, our programs take care of everything, and they're all revolved around 6 times a day. So we're going to hear some awesome stories from moms. That's going to be tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Invite any pregnant people, invite any people that are like just had a baby, or just any moms in general, or just people, I mean dads. Like the stories you hear like are so applicable on all sides, and they're really going to be beautiful stories of health. I'm really excited for it. Dawn, you guys are going to have a lot of fun with this. And also Saturday, Brian's going to have a Real Stories of Transformation call. That's a great way to plug people in on a Saturday morning. It's a great place to get people in action and to follow up. The last thing I was going to cover was just some actual more technical stuff. Is, guys, a lot of guys, I've been talking to a lot of people, they haven't realized that in our file section of whatever page you're in, you might be in Dawn's page, you might be in Candy and Casey's page, you might be in Susan and Shane's page, whatever your global page is, under the files section, there's a document called Simple Systems Document, Just-in-Time Training. It has a running tally of all the up-to-date stuff that is the most applicable. If you want to have Becca Tinter's 14-minute how to, going over opportunity, it's in there. If you want Dr. Nelson's explanation of the medical side of the program, it's in there. You want Dr. Ray's link to the ebook, it's all in there. So just remember that that's, again, your go-to for simple systems. It's in the files section, and then it's going to be just-in-time training. Last thing I was going to do was just a tip, because we are kicking off this year, and literally the reason why I focused on kind of our program is coaching, because we brought a ton of clients in this year. And guys, I just want to congratulate you. It has been so fun. Guys, are you guys watching the challenge? Like the light bulbs going off in people's heads. It's been amazing. It's been so fun to watch. So my reminder to you guys for structure, because Dave reminds us to really embrace structure. We're a little bit past halfway through the month. This is the time to grab your map, assess where you're at and where you want to be at the end of the month, and ask yourself what it will take to get there. Another reason why I wanted to bring this up is this is a practice. This will help you help more people. This creates structure in your business. This is a practice of just helping more people and moving your business forward. But also, I looked over some numbers, and I've seen about 10, 15 people that are on the cusp of being able to qualify for Go Global for the first time this month. So if you dive in, assess where you're at, connect with your support team. We would love to have you at Go Global. I'm not even going to go into details because we ran long because of technical issues on this call, but I would not be where I was at. And I know a lot of people here would attribute where they're at because of going to Go Global. It's a huge leadership event. It's good whether you are in this business or not. You're going to get great takeaways, but you're also going to learn what it's going to take to help people rise to better levels. So it's a great intimate time with Dr. A and Dan. I look forward, honestly, I have to say it rivals Sundance, but this is actually probably my favorite event because this is the event that helped me realize that I wanted to help people on a massive level and really what we can accomplish by working together. So last thing, I feel like a preacher wrapping up a sermon. Second, third, fourth, fifth wrap up, last thing is this is the time to be in action. So I'll leave you guys with this today. Follow up. Connect with those you've been layering on. Be bold. Get outside of your comfort zone. Lisa Stewart gave some great tips on that the other day. Post on Facebook daily. Guys, people are seeing your social media and they know what you're passionate about by what you're posting about. And those posts are not just what to be sitting on each day, but do those 5-second posts and get that word out there that you're living health. Stand for something so people see what's changing your life. Connect with your clients, get them plugged in like we've been seeing, and then get connected with the people in their world. By the way, right now, people are shrinking and other people are thinking about wanting to get help. If your clients are shrinking, it means people are watching and gawking. So find out in their world who you can help and get connected. This is the best time to build your business. I love Becca Tinter saying that if you take care of people and help them get what they want and move forward to their health, one well taken care of person can be the doorway to thousands of people changing their health. So with that being said, guys, great stuff. Thank you for all the share. Dawn, you want to wrap up? You want to say anything as we close out? Like any energy on all this?
Just such golden tips, Brad. I love every single one of them. And I just want to put one little plug in for Go Global because there's people who do qualify. And if Brad hadn't gone 6 years ago, I may not be here now. And so just connect with your mentor if you're close or if that's your goal this month, connect because we're only halfway through.
Yep.
And
that's the one thing. I'll actually say that's one last thing as we wrap up, because this is not only a way to look at Go Global, but your entire life now. Most of our life has been told, well, we get to do this, or this is our only option, or this is what we have. But Take Shape for Life, it doesn't like solve all of our problems because we're always going to be creating what we want, but it gives us the opportunity to say, what would it take? What would it be like? And what do I want to do? So the question I would ask yourself, if you're one of those newer people on the line, is say, just reach out to your support team and say, what would it look like for me to go global? Like, what would it take and what would it look like? So with that being said, guys, thank you for all the energy. Thank you for the fun week. Thank you for putting up with the technical difficulties. Let's go out there and continue to change some lives and finish up this month solid. It's January and we're having fun. Thanks, everybody.
Love it, Brad. Thank you.
Thanks, Brad.
Thanks,
Incredible.
Brad.